Hey, welcome to JG3 Reviews. My name is James, and I review fountain pens, paper, ink, all that good stuff. And today, you're going to see a little bit of all of that, because today I am reviewing a notebook by Great Fountain. Gabriel sent me this notebook for review, and you may remember him from such hits as the cartridge stopper that I reviewed a while back. Now he is in the business of also making various fountain pen accessories, including this notebook. We're going to look at how it performs with various fountain pens, inks, nib sizes, all of that kind of good stuff, so that you can make an informed decision in case you are interested in this notebook. So let's flip that. Wait. We're not done with the intro yet. There's one more very exciting thing. Today, I am going to announce a giveaway in partnership with a certain pen maker, and they are going to give away this pen right here. Would you like to know what this pen is? Would you like to know how you can win it? Stay tuned. It's somewhere in this review. So let's flip that camera and find out how you can win it. All right, quick introduction. Gabriele Falcinelli first contacted me back during the pandemic lockdowns in Italy. He couldn't work where he had been working, and he decided not to sit idly by and let all of that become a problem for him, but to take the horse by the reins and start a business in the middle of the pandemic. And he has been successful. So you will remember the introduction to his business was this international cartridge stopper made of machined brass that is just excellent. Link in the description below. This is not a prop, by the way. This has actually been keeping this cartridge usable for quite some time. And now he has branched out into several products, from ink to paper, notebooks, all kinds of stuff. And today we're looking, of course, at this notebook. Dimension-wise, it is 3.5 inches by 5.5 inches, or 89 by 140 millimeters. Those of you with a keen eye will notice that is the same dimensions as a field note. So same dimensions, but with a more fountain pen friendly paper, which is not just a claim. We're going to open this up and I will show you both the tests that I have done already, and we'll do a couple of quick ones. Okay, so now that I've taken it out of that wrapper, this is a laminated cover, which means that it's going to be more durable and usable every day, less impacted by if you find yourself having to run inside in the middle of a quick rainstorm. This is not going to damage your notebook as much as it would if it's just, paper, cardboard sort of a thing. So that is helpful and protective. Of course, you still got to protect the edges. Then you open up the notebook and you have a quote by Benjamin Franklin, a favorite of mine. Either write something worth reading or do something worth writing. Good advice, good advice. And then at the back, you have their logo and the dimensions. By the time you get to the end, you're going to want to think about reordering. And so here's all the information you need to do that. And you can get this in both blank or in what is a grid sort of a pattern. This is not dots. It will look that way from a distance, but actually these are small plus signs, crosses, that sort of thing, which kind of helps the eye even better than a dot in keeping things aligned, especially if you're making one of those, the water test grids that you've seen me struggle with in my ink tests. It's like a different problem every week. Anyway, this is 52 pages. It is 100 GSM paper, and it is pure white. One of the cool things about his business is that everything is at the very least assembled in Italy, and most everything is made in Italy. And I believe this is one of those all Italian products. So he makes these stoppers, and those are made in Italy. The inks are made in Italy. The notebook is made in Italy. He does have some Tomoe paper that is bound in Italy, and that's kind of the assembled side of the product line. But he's making some really neat things, and I do encourage you to check out his website. So how does the paper perform? First, it is a nice, because it is 100 GSM, it is a nice thick paper. It is smooth. It doesn't have that coated feeling that some do. The ink dries nice and quick, as opposed to, say, Tomoe paper, where ink sometimes tends to just stand there on the paper. I have that issue with my Hobonichi all the time. I still use it because I love it overall, and I like the paper overall, but dry time is a weakness of that. Not a weakness with this. I found that it dries reasonably quick. Now, I'm going to do a writing sample, but first, I also always, when I get a new notebook or a new type of notebook, do a pen and ink test page. And so I've used several things here. This is the Kaigaloo with diamine onyx black and an extra fine, and that worked really well. No issues. In fact, let me just give you a hint. There were no issues. Look at that. Look at that. No ink came through this page. Now let's go back and look at all the things that didn't go through the page. There is the gravitas. This is the polycarbonate. You won't get that from the letter P, but I will. The polycarbonate gravitas with a medium Jowo nib. Excellent, excellent pen. Check that review out. And it is inked still with diamine Syrah. Now, these diamine inks are well behaved, so I expect good performance from them on most papers. Not all, but most papers. And was not disappointed here in the least by either the paper or the ink. This is the Conklin that you see to the side, and that has a Jowo 1.1 stub nib and is inked with J. Urban, Eclat de Saphir, and that is excellent performing pen, and it did well on this paper with that ink. And then the Kaweco Lilliput, which is a medium nib and diamine emerald green, did great. Wingsung 601 with an ink that I really love, but that does sometimes get through some papers. Noodlers Liberty's Elysium from Goulet Pens, it did not. Let me just show you that again. It did not do a thing on this paper to the bad. All good. And so that looks great. This is my Pilot Custom Heritage 912, and that is with the 14 karat medium nib and Monteverde Ocean Noir ink. Well-behaved ink on most papers, but this pen, I mean, it really floods the page with ink, and you can see that in this really thick, saturated line. Did not go through it all. Very, very good. No ghosting. The Gravitas Pocket Brass Pen in medium with Pelican Blue. Well-behaved ink. Well-behaved here. And a Pelican M200 medium with Pelican Dark Green. Also, no issues. All these pens, all these inks did exceedingly well on this paper. And that does not just speak to the inks and the pens, because some of these aren't always well behaved on certain papers. They will get some bleed through. They will get definite ghosting, but it did very well in this notebook. Okay, I said I was going to test the paper before your very eyes, and the first one I want to test is actually not a fountain pen, even though I'm a fountain pen guy and Gabrielle is a fountain pen guy. We're going to use here a gel pen. This is the Zebra Sarasa with a 1mm refill in navy blue. I love the color of this ink. I love the smoothness of the 1mm Zebra Sarasa, but it is a pen that puts down a load of gel ink. And as you know, gel ink, like fountain pen ink, sometimes ghosts and bleeds. So I wanted to test it, and I tested on most of my papers as well. Not a handwriting channel today. Now I'm curious about this, so let's flip that over and see. No issues immediately. We'll come back to that after doing the next writing sample. And the next writing sample has to do with the giveaway. And this giveaway is in partnership with Narwhal Pens. If you subscribe to my channel and then go to their Instagram page and look for the giveaway post and follow the instructions that are there, they're going to have a drawing and they will send the winner a Narwhal Voyage New York City pen. This is a great writing fountain pen. It is a piston-filled pen with a good ink capacity, and it has a diamond cast resin with real diamond dust. All those sparkles and chatoyancy you see, that's diamond dust. So really a striking pen, an enjoyable pen to write with. And so now we will test this pen, and when you're done with this video, be sure to go to Instagram and sign up for that giveaway drawing. Now let's see how it performs on this paper. I'm just going to put V for Voyage and NYC. And the ink is Pen BBS. And this writing is really too small for most of these nibs. However, I went ahead and wrote all the ink small because having those nibs, especially the medium and stub nibs, have to write in a small area means a lot of ink in one spot. And if you're going to have a time when it's going to have bleed through, this is going to be it. So this is a test of the paper. And this is Chongqing City. We are rather international today. And this is a really neat blue. It dries with a little bit less blue and a little bit more gray. And if you're interested in that, you can check out the ink review of that, link in the description below as well. And how did that do? Okay, so we have with the Chongqing City, and this is why I used this ink, by the way. We have just a little bit, no bleed through, but you do have stronger ghosting than with anything else. There's really almost no ghosting with some of these inks, but you have a little bit of ghosting. You just almost have where I said, the writing was really tight, especially for a broader medium nib. You would almost, maybe with some inks, you might get a little bit of bleed through, but except for, as it goes, as I'm talking, that's why I wanted to give it time, you see a couple of little dots right here. Now, that's not a surprise. On the Great Fountain website, it says with wetter inks. And just to define wetter, if you're new to fountain pen inks, we're really talking about viscosity there. Inks that are thinner and therefore make it through the fibers of paper before they dry. Sometimes we'll call that wet inks. I know all inks are technically wet, but that's what we mean by that, is that they're thinner and get through paper more easily before they dry. And it says that wetter inks will sometimes cause some ghosting. But let me tell you, compared to, say, the Field Notes notebook, this performs incredibly well. So that just tells me that out of these inks, I would not use the Pen BBS Chongqing City with this notebook unless I was okay with just using one side of the paper. But since you have so many choices, and many of those just as broad as the Narwhal, so just, the next time I refill the Narwhal, I could just swap inks and go to something a little bit better behaved on the paper. No issue whatsoever. So all of these inks worked really well. The Zebra Sarasa, for those of you outside the U.S., performed really, really well here as well. And like I said, it goes through some papers. So this is really good. Really good. So let's sum this up. This cover is the cat cover. They do have others, including one that is probably the one I would like. It is a notebook with a fountain pen nib theme, just like it was made for me. So I may have to go and order one of these here in just a second. But really good. The performance is great. I am really pleased with the paper that he has used in this. I'm not really sure where he has sourced this from, but it is really good, and I'm really glad that his business is doing well. And thank you, Gabriel, for the opportunity to review this notebook. I have enjoyed being able to share it with the good people here at JG3 Reviews. And I want to remind you, go sign up for the giveaway for that Narwhal pen. God bless you. Have a great week.